Okay. So have you ever, like, uh, imagined a computer that's, like, smaller than a paperback book,
Yeah.
but could actually, like, handle, like, all your, you know, everyday tasks?
That's a pretty wild thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like squeezing that much power into something so small.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's funny because you actually sent us this review about the ACEMAGICIAN AM06PRO Mini PC.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it got me thinking about that,
Just a tiny little thing.
Yeah,
But they've somehow managed to pack some pretty impressive specs in there.
right. Like an AMD Ryzen 7 58825U processor,
Yeah.
16 GB of DDR4 RAM, a 512 GB SSD.
It makes you wonder, like, how they even fit all that in there.
I know, right? So what we really want to do today is kind of like a deep dive,
Yeah.
into this mini PC.
Absolutely. We need to see if it lives up to the hype.
Exactly.
Especially for, our listeners out there. They
Well,
want to know if this could be their, like, ideal workstation.
Their study buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Or even like a home theater PC.
Mm.
So we're going to break down this review, really dig into the details.
Okay, so first impressions, what about the design?
Well, the review keeps going on about how compact it is.
Yeah.
127 by 42 millimeters.
Wow.
And under 500 grams, like it's basically a paperback book.
That's crazy.
They've definitely gone for a minimalist look, which I kind of like.
I know, minimalist is very in right now.
It is. And it doesn't feel cheap either.
Oh, that's good.
Apparently, it's got this matte black aluminum chassis.
Oh, nice.
So it feels really solid, no flexing or creaking.
Yeah, you don't want it to feel flimsy, especially if you're carrying it around.
Exact.
So that's good. That's a good sign.
The review also mentioned that it has ventilation grills.
Okay, so they thought about the airflow.
Yeah, they have.
That's important.
And get this, the fan is super quiet.
Even under pressure.
Even when it's working hard.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is, because nobody wants a mini PC that sounds like a jet engine.
Especially if you're trying to, work or watch a movie.
Right.
So they've really crammed all the connections in there as well.
You've got a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A port on the front.
Oh.
And then on the back, there's 2 more USB 3.2 ports.
Wow.
HDMI 2.0 USB-C that also supports DisplayPort 1.4.
So you have options for displays.
You do. And then there's Gigabit Ethernet and a 3.5 millimeter audio jack.
They really thought of everything.
It seems like they have.
And of course, it has Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2.
A car's got to have those for wireless connectivity.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that in terms of design and connectivity, this little machine is punching above its weight.
I think so too.
Okay, so now for the exciting part. Let's talk about performance.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah. So at the heart of it all is this AMD Ryzen 7 5825U processor.
Yeah, 8 cores, 16 threads.
Wow. And it runs at a base speed of 2 gigahertz, but can boost up to 4.5.
It's based on the Zen 3 architecture.
Which I've heard good things about.
Yeah, it's known for being both powerful and efficient.
Right, because you want it to be snappy, but also not drain your battery?
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for actual use, though?
Well, the review says it can handle multitasking like a champ.
Okay, give me some examples.
20-plus browser tabs, no problem.
Okay.
Video conferencing, spreadsheets, even light photo editing in Lightroom.
So pretty much all the basic stuff most people need.
Yeah, it seems to handle it all smoothly.
That's really impressive.
And it's all happening in this tiny little box.
Oh, I know, it's wild.
Which is why that 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM is so important.
It keeps things running smoothly.
It does 3200 megahertz speed, too.
Not bad at all. But there is a catch, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, that RAM is soldered.
Oh, so you can't upgrade it.
Nope. What you get is what you're stuck with.
So that's something to think about.
It is if you think you might need more RAM down the line for, like, video editing or virtual machines.
Okay, good point.
Now, to give you an idea of the raw processing power, it scored around 1800 in Cinebench R23 multi-core.
Okay, so for those of you who aren't familiar with benchmarks...
Cinebench is a really good way to stress test a processor.
Okay, and what's interesting is that this score actually beats out a lot of Intel NUCs and other mini PCs in the same price range.
It does, which is pretty impressive.
So if you're comparing this to other options...
This one might give you a bit more oomph for your buck.
And it does all this without overheating.
That's right. The fan only gets a little louder during demanding tasks.
Okay.
And the temperature stays below 75 degrees Celsius.
So no need to worry about it turning into a hot potato.
Exactly. It's designed to stay cool and quiet.
All right. Let's talk graphics.
Now, this is where things get interesting.
Because integrated graphics aren't always the best.
They have a bit of a reputation.
Yeah, but The review is actually quite positive about the AMD Vega 8 graphics in this thing.
It's got 8 compute units running at 2 gigahertz.
Okay, but let's be realistic. It's not going to be a powerhouse for, like, AAA games.
No, if you're a serious gamer, you'll need a dedicated graphics card.
Right.
But the review says it can handle esports titles like Rocket League and Valorant.
Okay, at what resolution?
Over 60 frames per second in 1080p.
Not bad at all.
And it can even manage older AAA games like The Witcher 3 on medium settings.
So it's definitely capable for some casual gaming.
Absolutely, and where it really shines is media playback.
Oh, right.
It can support 2 4K displays at 60 Hz.
Wow, using HDMI and USB-C.
Yeah, so it's perfect for content creators who need multiple screens.
Or for a home theater setup.
Exactly. The review even mentions smooth 4K HDR video playback on YouTube and Netflix.
So if you're streaming a lot of content,
this little PC can handle it.
So really what we're seeing here is that this Vega 8 GPU is a good all-rounder.
It is. It strikes a good balance between performance and efficiency.
Without the extra cost and bulk of a dedicated graphics card.
Exactly. It's a good fit for this kind of device.
Okay, so let's revisit the storage and memory just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Sure.
We talked about the RAM being non-upgradable.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer.
But what about the storage?
Well, the review raves about the speed of the 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD.
Really?
Yeah. Read speeds up to 3,500 megabytes per second.
Write speeds up to 2,500.
That's seriously fast.
It is. It means super quick boot times and file transfers.
So the whole system feels snappier.
Exactly. And the best part is,
What?
you can actually replace the SSD.
Oh, so you can upgrade it?
There's an M.2 slot that drives up to 2 terabytes.
Oh, wow. So if you need more space down the line.
You've got options.
Okay, that's good to know.
It is.
So we talked about Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2 earlier.
Yeah.
But the review had a really interesting example of the Wi-Fi 6 performance.
What was that?
They transferred a 10 gigabyte file wirelessly in under a minute.
Wow, that's incredibly fast.
I know, right? So if you're transferring large files regularly.
That's a huge plus.
And of course, you also have the option of a wired connection with the gigabit Ethernet port.
For those times when you need absolute stability.
Okay, so when it comes to the actual physical ports.
Yeah, this selection is good, but not perfect.
Right.
You've got 3 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports.
Which is decent. It is, but the reviewer pointed out that there's no extra USB-C port.
Oh, okay.
And no SD card reader either.
That's a bit of a shame.
It is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, but they did make sure to include DisplayPort 1.4 through the USB-C port and HDMI 2.0.
So you have options for connecting external displays.
Okay, so let's talk software.
Sure.
The review really highlighted the fact that this comes with Windows 11 Pro.
Yeah, which is a big deal for a budget mini PC.
Because you often get, like, stripped-down versions of Windows.
Or even worse, bloatware.
Yeah, that you have to spend time removing.
So having a clean install of Windows 11 Pro is a huge advantage.
Especially for businesses or freelancers.
Absolutely. It's a premium operating system with a lot of features.
And it sounds like the overall software experience is pretty smooth.
It does. The review mentioned no bloatware.
That's always good.
Easy updates.
And a user-friendly BIOS.
If you like to tinker with the settings.
The only thing missing seems to be biometric login with Windows. Hello? But it does have a TPM 2.0 chip for security. Okay, so taking everything into account.
Yeah.
The design, the performance, the connectivity, the software.
What's the verdict?
Well, the price seems to be very competitive.
The review mentioned a range of around 400 to 450 pounds.
Okay.
And they pointed out that it often beats the price of similar spec'd machines.
Like the Intel NUC11 Pro kits?
Yeah, so you might actually save some money going with this option.
And of course, you have to factor in the value of that Windows 11 Pro license.
It's a significant saving.
So what are the trade-offs then?
Well, you're getting a lot of performance for the price.
Yeah.
But you have to accept that the RAM isn't upgradable.
Right.
And there's no dedicated graphics card.
But for a lot of people, those compromises might be perfectly acceptable.
I think so, especially given the overall package and the price.
So in the end, the review called the AM06PRO a tiny titan.
I like that, a tiny titan.
It really does deliver desktop-level performance.
In a package that's incredibly small.
So it seems like it would be a great choice for students, remote workers, anyone who wants to save space.
Without sacrificing power.
And it excels at those everyday tasks.
Multitasking, connecting to peripherals, playing 4K media.
The review ultimately concluded that it's a compelling and versatile mini PC.
That's future-proof and won't break the bank.
And they gave it a rating of 4.5 out of 5 stars.
That's a pretty solid score.
It is. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say that this ACEMAGICIan AM06PRO does seem to live up to the hype.
It does. It's a powerful little machine that could change the way you work or play.
Now, this is where I want to leave you with a thought.
Okay.
Imagine how this could transform your workspace.
Decluttered and efficient.
Exactly. Or maybe you could become the heart of your home entertainment system.
Hidden away, but still powerful.
So think about it. What new possibilities could this mini PC unlock for you?
It's all about finding the right tool for your needs, and this one might just be the perfect fit.
It's definitely worth exploring.
It is.
And that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.